Greetings, dear viewer, and welcome to Purposes Crossed, where I hope that people who are called by Jesus for different purposes cross paths and exchange ideas. This is the third installment in a series of devotions on the Psalms, and we are dealing with Psalm 3 today. The Psalms are categorized into different types: praise, wisdom, royal, thanksgiving, and lament. Psalm 3 is kind of a mixture of a lament and a personal thanksgiving, and it contains elements from both types. And because it is a mixture, it is particularly helpful when we are faced with difficult times. It recognizes deep personal pain and suffering while at the end ending in thanksgiving. According to the superscription in the psalm, David composed it while fleeing Absalom. This was a particularly dark time in David's life when the son he loved deeply actively sought to kill him. The psalm is exceptionally poignant when we realize that the enemies David mentions in the psalm multiple times includes one of his sons. Now, he even calls this group wicked. The impact of this cannot be grasped unless we draw a parallel between how Absalom related to David and how David related to Saul. Despite being the anointed successor to Saul, David repeatedly refused to harm Saul even though he had many opportunities. In contrast, though never having the right to rule after David, Absalom actively tried to kill David and usurp his throne. Since God had promised David that Solomon would reign after him, Absalom's actions, if successful, would have rendered God's promise to Solomon void. This is what qualifies Absalom as wicked. He acted in such a way that his success would have undermined God's faithfulness. Despite his wickedness, David would not act against him either. He does recognize that Absalom needed to be stopped and so asks God to act on his behalf. David uses vivid language, asking God to strike the jaw of his enemies, to break their teeth. Now, while we may recoil at such brutal and violent language, we need to recognize an important thing. David asks God to take action, and he describes the actions in violent ways. But David is not describing his own actions. He is voicing his anguish in stark terms. By asking God to act on his behalf, David decides that even though his son was wicked in trying to undermine God's promises, he would not act in a way that would harm his son. Rather, in the only terms he could think of, he commands God to take action on his behalf. This is an important lesson we need to learn. Whether we think we are justified to act or not, we need to think carefully. Even if the other person attempts to harm us, we need to resist the temptation to act in an attempt to solve the issue. We need to allow God to rearrange things according to his will and act according to his will. But it is crucial that we remind ourselves once again about the context within which this psalm was composed. David was being hunted by his son Absalom, who wanted to dethrone David and enthrone himself. In other words, this was a complicated situation in which the wise course of action was elusive. Now, we know how David reached this point. His sin concerning Bathsheba made him lose the respect of all those around him, including his sons. Almost immediately after his episode with Bathsheba, we read that his son Amnon raped Tamar, David's daughter, who was Amnon's half-sister. When David did not take action, Absalom, Tamar's brother, murdered Amnon, and in due course he began to believe that since he, instead of David, had taken the decisive action, it was he, not David, who had the right to the throne. He staged a successful coup in Hebron and began to undermine David's rule, eventually forcing David to flee. This situation is murky, it's complicated, and David was paralyzed. Was Absalom's coup a sign of God's continuing judgment on him for his sin? If that were the case, he should not attempt to thwart Absalom. Or was this just Absalom's own ambition getting the better of him? In that case, David should have done everything to defeat Absalom. But Absalom was his son. He could not wage war against him and kill him. It is in this difficult situation where the wise course of action is difficult to determine that David wisely hands everything to God and asks God to deliver him from Absalom. Now, this is instructive as well. In many situations, we are able to use our minds to determine what the wise course of action is. In such cases, asking God to act is actually a sign of disobedience and a rejection of the command to worship God with our minds. For if God has given us minds with which we can decide our course of action in less complicated situations, we give Him no honor by asking Him to resolve those situations for us. But when the situation is indeed complex, we give Him no honor by trying to resolve the issue on our own. So we should be careful, and that is what Psalm 3 tells us. It's a difficult situation, and when we have a difficult situation, we need to let things in the hands of God and allow Him to act on our behalf. Thank you.